At number 10, we have the Thrasher suit. This suit appears in Night of the Owls when the Talons of the Court of Owls track down his Batcave. Batman learned that due to their Electrum implants, the Talons had a weakness towards cold. The Thrasher suit is designed to withstand extreme heat and cold while allowing the wearer to have weeks worth of oxygen while being protected. So, Bruce Wayne turns the air in the Batcave extremely cold, weakening the Talons and taking them out with his Thrasher suit. But this isn't the only time this suit would come in handy. If Batman ever had to face off against another superpowered individual with fire or ice capabilities, this would be the suit that he would be able to turn to. Or I would imagine any underwater fighting could also be done with this suit due to the oxygen tanks built within it. At number 9, we have the TROIKA suit, or Jean-Paul Valley's armor. When he takes up the mantle, Jean-Paul decides it's time to update the suit he has to wear when it's time to go out to fight crime. His version of the suit is made of Kevlar and Nomex, making it impervious to bullets. He designs this suit preparing to face Bane and the mass breakout at Arkham Asylum. So, this suit is designed to face serious physical damage from an onslaught of angry prisoners with makeshift weapons. It also protects against intense heat in case of Molotovs or flamethrowers or anything like that. The suit also has a matte black color scheme, camouflaging him against the darkness in the city while he goes in to face this event. This suit is similar to the original, but it makes it onto this list because it's one that a lot of people don't talk about very often. And it just looks really cool. At number 8, there's Batman's Predator suit, which in Batman vs. Predator, he designs to face off against the alien creature. When in battle with the Predator, he's badly wounded and partially blinded, so when he adopts this suit to continue the fight, the sonar capabilities of the suit help to compensate for his blindness, and the exoskeleton of the suit gives him a boost of strength when he needs it most. In this battle, Batman hits Predator with a tranquilizer, which could have come from the suit as well. This suit is perfect for stealth missions with high risk for combat. The sonar would allow him to infiltrate any space without detection, and the exoskeleton would protect him from any resistance he might meet along the way. And when he's able to find his target, he could take them out initially with one of those tranquilizing darts. It's another suit that he made use of in a very specific scenario, but it could be very useful in the future. So don't hang this one up quite yet, Bruce. Keep it. At least until you run out of Batsuit space. Okay, at number 7, we have the DC 1 million Batsuit. This one resembles the original Batsuit quite a bit, but it's just got so much more going on that should give it a good spot on this list. It has abilities like camouflage, night vision, it has a fireproof cape, a reinforced exoskeleton, gliding wings, armor, a hard drive that holds over 10 times the amount of data as the Bat computer, which he could also wirelessly connect to if he needed to. The suit also has electrical absorption and holographic capabilities. This one is just so supercharged that for the average Batman confrontation, no one would stand a chance. It still sits further back on the list, but only because some of these ones coming up really go above and beyond in the face of some pretty tough villains. At number 6, we have the Batwing suit, worn by David Zavimbi's successor, Lucas Fox. This suit has a faceplate, retractable cape, as well as an interior skin that reads his health at any given time and even offers first aid if needed. This could include hardening around a broken limb to hold it in place, or administering painkillers if there was no chance of taking a break from battle. The Batwing suit also has invisibility that uses holographic sensors. This suit doesn't allow for flight, but it does have a glider for jumping between buildings or escaping a tough situation. There's also a really bright bat symbol right in the chest that can blind or otherwise distract any opponents in combat. It also just looks really cool when it's lit up. This suit can also be controlled by voice commands, kind of like the Iron Man suit, and get this, it can actually take blood samples and compare them with samples from the Gotham City Police Department crime database. It also has hands-free phone capabilities to boot, which is pretty nice, and the suit can also change Batman's voice in case he needed to replicate someone else's, as well as a smoke screen. There's even more stuff that I'm leaving out, but I'll just leave it at that for now. This thing is just out of control and makes for a great tool to keep the user safe and ready for a fight. At the 5th spot, we have the Trinity armor, which Batman uses to go into battle with Bizarro. The look of this armor in the original comics is pretty clunky, but it was still able to do some really cool stuff that the original suit wasn't able to do. It could throw electrified nets, grenades, and it had solar lasers attached to the fists, which prove helpful in his alongside Wonder Woman. In these cases, a stronger suit comes in handy for Batman, who sometimes finds himself alongside more powerful beings with superpowers, allowing for more of a fair matchup for the masked vigilante. The suit has a lot of armor as well, and parts to the costume that give him more strength, and robotic pieces that allow for more speed. The suit protected him from full-on punches from Bizarro, which says a lot about the man-made suit. Bizarro does get the best of Batman after a few too many superpowered punches, but the suit served its purpose until Superman was able to arrive and finish the job. At number 4, we have the stealth suit, which was used very briefly in Superman Unchained number 2. This suit was designed for Bruce to find a way to hide from Superman. It's designed to take the wavelengths that the suit emits and hide it from superpowered beings. Another plus of this suit is how light it is. Although Batman is usually up against run-of-the-mill human criminals, this suit would probably be the best suit for a real infiltration during an operation against anyone superpowered. Considering Batman is often outmatched in situations against superpowered beings, being able to hide and move around with a stealthy suit is hugely useful. And this suit is so obscure, I figure that only the real fans even know about it. Batman really has a knack for putting these suits together when he needs them most and then scrapping them. I hope they're made out of recyclable materials. Okay, at number 3, we've got the Suit of Sorrows. This one is really unique both because of its age and the tales that it actually has magical capabilities. Built during the Crusades in 1190 CE, this suit at first glance seems like a basic piece of armor, but it's known to actually cause the user to become more violent. And when it's gifted to Batman by Talia al Ghul, this proved to be true. The reason why this suit sits higher on the list is that it's the only suit that I could find which is actually known to be enchanted in some way. Every other suit uses some kind of complex human technology, but a magical Batman suit just had to fit on this list. Besides, it could come in handy if Batman ever needed to go extra hard on some of his enemies, helping him to abandon his usual heroic tendencies to help him go a little harder on the tougher foes. Not sure who or when this could be useful, but it just strikes me as one of those pieces that Batman might want to keep around for a day when he's really matched against someone pretty bad. At number 2, we have Batman's Insider uniform. This suit is created with extremely high-powered technology, allowing for teleportation. This suit is so cool because it's able to connect with Justice League teleporters, allowing the wearer to teleport anywhere on Earth. This, I'm pretty sure, is a first for any Batsuit, but there is a catch. The suit requires a lot of energy and needs to be recharged pretty often. But that's expected for a piece of human tech like this. The good news is that aside from being able to be charged by any typical power source, this suit can also be recharged through any source of power being directed at it, which hints at some pretty cool absorption powers against superpowered opponents. This suit was designed to have Batman fit into the Justice League more seamlessly with abilities that allow him to adopt powers from everyone else on the team. Although all the powers are limited to the energy supply of the suit, it has super speed mode to replicate the Flash, heat vision mode to replicate Superman, either through the eyes or the helmet's central eye, willpower mode inspired by the Green Lantern rings, which offers a big concentrated blast of energy like the Owen power rings, and the suit also has camouflage mode inspired by Martian Manhunter, allowing the user to turn invisible. It also has a cord like that of Wonder Woman, which forces those ensnared in it to tell the truth, also being able to zap that foe with an electric shock just for a little bit of inspiration. And to top it all off, the suit allows for flight using magnetic fields. Just thought they'd throw that on the end there. Batman can fly in this suit. Okay, at number 1 we have the Justice Buster. This suit just looks absolutely insane, and it was used to take down the entire Justice League when Batman went bad on them. It's obvious by its appearance that it has enhanced armor, taking hits from supervillains with actual super strength, which is usually unheard of for Batsuits. And some of its very specialized offensive functions are its bind of veils, used to incapacitate Wonder Woman, its hyper-fast servers, used to process information faster than the Flash can run. This part of the suit was most expensive, as well as a hyper-fast cannon that can take out the Flash despite his super speed. This thing fires faster than Batman can even sense anything has happened due to the servers mentioned before, which is insane. He's able to take down Aquaman with his powdered magnesium carbonate cannon, which binds Aquaman's body in this goopy substance, preventing movement. An electromagnetic nerve tree used to defeat Cyborg, a citrine neuralizer which is used to defeat the Green Lantern, prevents him from using his ring, the Fist of the suit actually contain red suns collected from dead solar systems, which is a weakness of Superman's, making his punches super effective against Superman in this suit. It also has plasma shields to defend against Superman's heat vision and thermal capabilities to protect against freeze breath. Wow, that's a mouthful. That's a lot of stuff, and I didn't even get all of it. This is objectively the most powerful suit in Batman's arsenal, having so much in it and so much use that he can actually take out one of the most powerful superpowered alliances in the cosmos. Wild. Which starts our list at number 10 with Spider-Man's bulletproof suit, or Spider Armor Mark II. This suit is designed when Peter Parker loses his spider senses, which we all know would make him much more susceptible to bullets specifically. So instead of taking a break and hiding away for a while, or being too heroic and going out and getting shot, Peter just creates a new and improved spider armor to face off against Massacre, a mass murderer. Massacre had captured a bunch of hostages, but when Spidey swoops in, he makes easy work of the killer by easily deflecting his bullets. The suit's magnetic webbing also interferes with the villain's ability to remotely activate traps, which I'm not sure was planned or not, but hey, the suit comes through again for Spider-Man in that way too. This suit was very useful for this very specific situation, but sits back on the list just because there are simply much better suits coming up. Okay, at number 9, we've got Spider-Man's Electro-proof suit. This suit was created in Amazing Spider-Man number 425 in an effort to get a one-up on Electro, a villain who we all know has electric powers. The reason why Peter Parker hadn't come up with this idea before is that it just didn't seem necessary, as Spider-Man could usually find ways to outmatch Electro. But this time, Electro had found a way to supercharge himself and become even more powerful than ever before. So Spider-Man decides to design a brand new suit, which also just looks really cool. Although it was first presented in the comics, the suit can also be used in 2014's The Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game for PS4. Okay, number 8 goes to the SP//DR suit. Kinda says spider in a fun way. This suit is featured in the hit animated movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but was first introduced in the comic event of the same name. The suit is controlled by Penny Parker, who's taking over for her late father, who used to man the suit. What's interesting about this armor is that it's partly controlled by a living radioactive spider that lives within it. And to use the suit, Penny has to get bitten by the spider, which she dutifully does. The suit is massive, offering tons of protection, and it shoots extra durable webs out of its integrated web shooters. And a suit that's mechanized and able to shoot webs even stronger than those of the original Spider-Man comes in handy when facing off against bad guys like Penny's universe's Mysterio. In a big face-off, the suit proves useful when Penny is able to avoid the effects of a nauseous gas emitted by Mysterio, so it seems like the suit also offers some pretty effective filtration. Not the most versatile suit, but an interesting one that might come in pretty handy in certain situations. At number 7, it's the stealth suit, also known by fans as the Big Time costume. After facing off against the new Hobgoblin in the Amazing Spider-Man number 649 and 650, Peter goes back to Horizon Labs, where he'd been working a day job, and designs the suit to be better, well, suited for the fight. This costume is extremely useful in that it's got a few different settings for different matchups. In camo mode, the suit turns green and keeps him invisible both visually and audibly to anyone who he doesn't want seeing him. This means that through certain lenses held by his allies, the green outlines can be seen, so they know where he is in battle. The other mode is called anti-sound mode, which turns the suit red, and it cancels out all sonic-based attacks like the new Hobgoblin supersonic attacks. The suit also has anti-metal spiders that can shoot out the top of his wrists that will eat away at and dissolve metal. And the suit can also repair any tears in the fabric at the command of the wearer's thoughts. At number 6, we've got Spidey's Future Foundation costume. This suit is designed by the Future Foundation, which is kind of like the revised Fantastic Four, and it has a really cool black and white finish. But that's not what this list is about. The suit is also extremely handy and implements some pretty futuristic technology known as third-generation unstable molecules. This technology allows Peter Parker to switch from the black and white look to the classic red and blue, or even his civilian clothes in an instant with just a thought. The suit also can't get dirty due to the unstable molecules, which is pretty cool. But the most useful part of this suit is probably its stealth capabilities, which allow Spidey to go almost completely invisible. This feature is particularly useful when he needs to swing around at night without being seen. It's just a great suit that helps Peter Parker's already formidable powers to shine even more, and it's just one of the coolest looking ones, in my opinion. Okay, number 5, we've got the Spider-Man 2099 suit. This spider suit has a cape. Yes! It's kinda small, but it's a frickin' cape. First worn by Miguel O'Hara in Spider-Man 2099 number 1, this suit was originally designed for Miguel to wear at a Day of the Dead celebration. Yes, this suit was meant for partying, but very soon became much more than that, with an upgraded version actually incorporating jet boots. I think this is such a cool addition to a Spider-Man suit because it makes a lot of sense to enhance his swinging capabilities. It's also got GPS sensors, allowing the wearer to navigate around the city effortlessly. Sadly, in the newer iteration of the suit, the cape was scrapped, but in its place are these tiny web wings that allow the wearer to glide a bit more in the air. This suit is just a lot of fun and would be very useful for day-to-day crime fighting around the city because it allows this Spider-Man to reach new speeds in the air and I would imagine longer times between web swings. It also just looks really cool again. Okay, fine, they all look cool, but I just have to say it still. Okay, at number 4, we've got the Iron Spider armor created by Tony Stark. In many realities, Peter Parker either turns down this suit or retires it quickly for various reasons, but thankfully, he does make use of it a few times. We've all had the pleasure of seeing how this suit looks in all its 4K MCU glory, but what's really great about this suit is what it can do. Firstly, the most notable feature, visually speaking, are the mechanical spider arms, which are actually called Waldos for some reason. These arms actually have cameras on the tips of them to peer around corners, and small grippers built to the end of the tips so they could act as extra arms for climbing and getting around. The suit can glide as well, allowing Spider-Man to move around a bit in the air, and underwater, because the suit also has a state-of-the-art mask filter that allows for nuclear, biological, and chemical filtration, as well as 8 minutes of clean oxygen if the wearer needed to explore something underwater. There are so many more things to cover as well. This suit is basically just as protective as the classic Iron Man suit, and with all these extra abilities, it just adds so much more power to Peter Parker's already impressive abilities. Alright, at number 3, we've got Spider Armor Mark III, otherwise known as the Ends of the Earth suit. This suit is created in Horizon Labs by Peter Parker as a last resort to help take down the Sinister Six. But I guess Peter works well under pressure because this suit is insane. Starting with the helmet, it has super hearing capabilities designed to pick up on Chameleon's heartbeat. The helmet could also communicate with Spider-Man's fellow teammates in battle with a comm link system. It also has a holographic sensor allowing the wearer to see through Mysterio's holograms and illusions, and it's capable of repelling Electro entirely, turning him back into human form on command, which is pretty cool. The suit allows for Spider-Man to fly with jet boosters and enhances web shooters that allow the user to fire more webs than the typical suits. Not only that, but the utility belt on the suit carries multiple cartridges of different types of webbing, also spider tracers and ice spiders. And listen, I'm leaving out a few things for time's sake too. Listen, the only reason why this suit doesn't take number 1 is because its abilities were catered pretty specifically to the feat of taking down the Sinister Six. So, in other cases, it might not be quite as effective as it is facing off in this specific scenario, but that's only one small fault for a very useful suit. Pretty nuts. At number 2, we're graduating from the term useful and veering more into absolutely overpowered with Spider-Man's Captain Universe suit. Alright, fine, this isn't really a suit per se. Like, it's not something any old Peter Parker could slip on and off, but it's still a suit and it's still extremely useful. This suit was created when Spider-Man was involved in a lab accident, but unlike the radioactive spider situation, this time he's actually given what's called the Uni-Power, making him one of the most powerful Spider-Man characters we've ever come across. He's got Univision, which endows him with a sort of cosmic consciousness, allowing him to sense things not just coming at him in the macro world, but he can sense things on a subatomic level, bringing the Spidey senses to a whole new meaning. This power also allows him to get people to tell the truth, which is pretty handy, I'd say. In Captain Universe form, Spider-Man can also manipulate energy, allowing him to fly. And above all this, the actual suit allows Spider-Man to withstand extremes in temperatures, allowing the wearer to traverse basically any environment on Earth and possibly beyond. He also has enough strength to punch the Hulk into orbit. And yes, it may be arguable that this isn't the suit allowing for this kind of power, but the suit and the powers kind of come together in this instance, so it remains on the list. Okay, at number 1, it is the amazing Spider-Man suit, or Spider Armor Mark IV. Okay, here we go. This suit can detect magic, infrared and X-ray beams, scan injured people to determine their injuries, and even detect plasma levels in blood to help administer first aid on a superhuman level. And in this iteration of the Spider Armor, the different webbing is available not by switching out cartridges on a waistband, but by voice command. So the wearer just has to say the word and the web shooter will go from shooting regular webs to electrified webs, to concrete webbing, which is a web with such strong durability that it was able to stop an Aztec god in its tracks. The suit also has an array of defensive capabilities, like administering antidotes if the wearer comes into contact with poison, as well as stealth and camo abilities as well. I'm missing so much just to keep this one short, but it's fair to say that this suit is the most widely useful as of posting this video, and I just can't wait to see what comes with the Spider Armor Mark V.
Number 10, the Arctic Armor. First appearing in Iron Man number 318 in July of 1995, the Arctic Armor was made to withstand the harsh temperatures and conditions of the Arctic. While mainly used by Tony so he could access his secret Arctic bunker, the suit could be used in other cold weather situations, like if he had to fight an Arctic-based villain. Being in Canada, I would absolutely find a use for this suit. For example, I could use it to walk to work without the air hurting my face. Number 9, Hydro Armor. We know that the Iron Man armors all have some underwater capabilities. We saw it in the first Avengers movie, but the Hydro Armor can work at underwater depths of up to 3 miles down, surviving the crazy water pressure that comes with being deep in the sea. I'm gonna be honest, this couldn't be me. The ocean makes me wet my tidy whities. But I guess when you've got like a tri-beam style unibeam, mini torpedoes, electrical field generators, and an octopus style black ink thingy, you are a bit more safe. Number 8, High Gravity Armor. I like this one. Even if its design is goofy, it's something I think would actually need to be taken into account. This suit was made to help its wearer withstand the increased gravity conditions of hyperspace travel, helping the body keep blood in the limbs, not just the torso, and those huge feet helped with moving around. The suit helped Tony withstand 50 Gs, but its actual limits haven't really been explicitly mentioned. It didn't stop Tony from passing out from G-Lock though, and it definitely didn't stop him from puking, but it cleaned him up and disinfected him, just like a good friend after a party. Number 7, Cold Iron Armor. Everything in the War of the Realms related stories is just so metal. The Cold Iron Armor first appeared in Iron Man Volume 5, number 24 back in 2014, and came to be when Tony was on a stealth mission in the dark elf homeworld of Svartalfheim. The armor itself is actually worn over top of another suit, and it's completely made of iron. Iron is actually a metal that is lethal for dark elves, so it's kind of weird that Iron Man wasn't the first one called, but this is actually an Iron Man armor. Like, actually iron. Its weapons include a fireable iron hook, a cloud of iron nails, and these super sweet iron claws on each arm. Just look at this thing. Number 6, GODKILLER Armor Mark II. Bet you didn't know that Tony Stark had a celestial-sized suit of armor powered by 8 nuclear reactors that is just casually orbiting Mars. Or I guess if you read Avengers Volume 8, number 5, you would. This armor entered the fray when the Dark Celestials attacked the Earth and battled alongside giant versions of She-Hulk, Thor, and Ghost Rider. While there are other versions of the GODKILLER armor, this one is my favorite. And the fact that it was kept orbiting Mars just in case really feels like something Tony Stark would do. Number 5, Deep Space Armor. This is probably the one armor on this list that most people have heard of. This suit was created when Tony Stark took a vacation from Earth and went out into space with the Guardians of the Galaxy. The suit can use an autopilot in emergencies and even allows Tony to control suits hundreds of light years away back on Earth. It's a modular suit too, allowing for things like enhanced back thrusters and wrist-mounted explosive launchers. It even has an extension that allows for lunar landings. It can travel at warp and sub-warp speeds, which is useful for space travel. Just overall for space travel, this suit is the most useful of all the Iron Man armors. 4. The ablative armor. This armor was pretty unique. It consisted of tons and tons of little honeycomb-shaped tiles that are all held together by a force field. The idea was that the tiles would break on impact, better absorbing impacts that a solid piece of armor was less useful for. Anytime a tile would be destroyed or fall out of the force field, it would be replaced by another tile, which is good for a suit of armor. These tiles could even separate from the armor itself and be used as projectiles or as countermeasures. Overall, it's just an armor with so many unique and useful capabilities, and I hope we see more of it. Hey you nerds, before we get on to the top 3, I just wanted to say a quick thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying the video. If you are, why not hit us with a like and maybe subscribe? It really helps us out to continue giving you videos. Alright, moving on. Number 3, the Nano Iron Man armor. Now this is a bit less of a traditional armor. When battling Fin Fang Foom, Tony initially used the giant Fin Fang Foom Buster armor, but when that failed, he instead shot a pod of thousands of Nano Iron Man armor microbots into the dragon thingy's blood. The bots were then remotely operated to investigate Fin Fang Foom and then fight his antibodies and travel to his brainstem, where the armors were used to destroy the control disk. Nanobots are a technology we're trying to develop in the real world to solve thousands of problems, mainly medical in nature. So this is an extremely useful armor. Number 2, THORBUSTER armor. Now most people know about the famous Hulkbuster suit thanks to the MCU, and just because it's awesome. But did you know Tony has made a THORBUSTER armor as well? There are actually a few Asgardian-based Iron Man armors, and they are all extremely awesome and useful. But to me, an armor to counteract the God of Thunder directly seems the coolest. He used the armor to go toe-to-toe with the God of Thunder, who is already massively powerful. But Thor was actually boosted up by the power of the Odin Force at the time. The armor was able to manipulate Asgardian energies like the Odin Force, which served Tony well. He was even capable of stopping Mjolnir mid-fight. Unfortunately, Thor destroyed the suit's reactor, forcing Tony to eject. But if this armor could trade punches with Odin Force Thor, it would be extremely useful facing any Asgardian related threat. Number 1, the virtual armor. This suit is probably the most unique of all of Tony Stark's armors. It's also the most recent suit on this list. The virtual suit first debuted in Iron Man 2020 Volume 2, Number 5, when Tony Stark had his consciousness pulled out of his body to save his life, and it resulted in the virtual armor, which was made from the resources of the 13th floor, which is basically a virtual reality built of solid light. Look, it's hard to explain, okay? The virtual armor could allow Tony to create any weapon he can think of. It augmented his strength, it protects against weapons fire, and it's invisible by default, acting as almost a force field around Tony. It can separate to form a prison-like bubble. The suit even somehow still allows him to fly and protects him from the vacuum of space. I have no idea how it works. Like, at all. And it's the most comic booky thing I've ever heard of, but its almost limitless possible capabilities easily make it the most useful Iron Man suit.